Alright. I think we're good here. Can I remove this like preview thingy that I have here right now? This like studio mode shit for OBS? Yeah. I'll make sure we're good here. Hello. Hello. It has been a while like always. Wow. Crazy shit. It's been happening, you know. I'm still this design. I'm still using this character design and model. The next one is in the works right now. I've gotten some previews. It's by the same 3D artist. That's coming up soon. But we're here. I haven't had the quite the right mindset or energy lately for streaming. I thought I wanted to, but you know, shit happens. I noticed the State of the Union was today. I did not know. It was mentioned to me briefly. And I was like, shit, I streamed it in 2022. So, it is finally time to follow up on it. And in 2022, I also streamed the midterms election. Like, I watched the results of that. I plan on doing that again this year. So, we'll see how that happens. Starting back on with politics is like a little like, there's better starting topics, but like, pretty much every time I stream, I'm kind of coming back after a long break at this point. I turn followers only on to make sure people are nice, because like it's politics, right? It's a bit of a hot topic. Yeah. Hello. Thank you. Don't know how to fucking pronounce that. Eidola. It has been quite some time. And is my chat working? Is my chat on my stream working? Because it looks like it isn't to me. It looks like it's not doing anything right now. Yeah, I didn't know either. And my chat is not working. Now try not to fuss too much over it, but I will try to check really quickly. It's probably because I fucking changed my username. Ah, fuck. I changed my username everywhere. The Blues Drive Amelia. There's like still a logo in the corner that says Sweet Amelia, but it's not me. It's not me anymore. Blues Drive Amelia. Oopsie. Oh shit. Did they darken the lights? It's like a fucking movie. Okay, this went back up. Yeah, I do, but I also wanted to spend this time actually talking about things, you know? And I guess this would be a good thing to try to iron out before Mr. Biden comes to the stage. Okay, it seems I might just have to like relink. I don't know how this works exactly. Names. Yeah, I'm a whole new. I mean, new character design, new username. I'm like, yeah, I'm so much cooler now. At least 50% cooler. And that's why I totally will maybe finally get to that Miku stream and finish Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Baby. We'll see. I've been wanting to play Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. But I can't. Well, I can, but I can't. Because I want to stream it. What's that guy's pin have? I saw they were zooming in on Matt Gates, which is unfortunate. Remembering that man exists. I don't know what to expect here. Chat still isn't working. I went on my thingy. It's on the thingy it's working. On this it isn't. Let me try this real quick. I may just not be able to fix it right now. Let me try this real quick. So I was talking about Bernie with someone just before this, and it's like, so fucking sad, man. Like, we got stuck with Biden. Also, hold on, wait, okay. That maybe will probably not work now, but it could. Someone does pick up messages from me. Oh, it works! Holy shit. I'm so fucking smart. We're so back. This is great. This stream is going great. And guys, oh shit, what was that? Guys, if there's any audio issues, if this is too quiet or too loud, please tell me. This audio should all be right, but if the YouTube thing itself is quieter than like I have things adjusted for, then I may need to adjust it again. But it should be good right now. Did I just reach a follower goal or some shit? What the fuck was that? Let me set a new goal for this stream, I guess. Still says it. What? Wait, but it just said I finished the goal, but... Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, when there's an actual voice, it should be better. I think. I would have gotten like pizza today or something if I knew this was happening. I've been skipping the debates. I did the first Republican primary debate, but it's like, who the fuck cares about that? I find this so... He looks very funny like this. How's that fucking dude? Was that Tom Connon? Was that dude's name? Yeah. Oh man, I did the Republican debate, the first Republican debate, but I haven't really... I've been like doing my usual light keeping up with politics. Nothing crazy because like it's depressing. There's not much really interesting going on most of the time. It's just like same old, same old. What the fuck's that pin? The pin looks like the fucking maze from Westworld. I'm probably just insane about it. I am insane. That is factual. I just wish this shit was different, man. I fucking hate this. This event in particular shouldn't be too bad itself. Like, it shouldn't be the worst. Nothing like that Republican debate I watched. That was just fucking awful. But like, I'm no Biden fan, man. I'm no... What's a Biden fan? A Bidener? Bidenist? What's the fucking guy's name? Mark? I'm thinking Mark Gordon. I don't think that's his name. Biden Knight? That's kind of a nice name. The fucking Speaker of the House. That shit was wild. What the fuck were they doing? Why'd they even bother to kick out McCarthy? What the fuck was the point of any of that? Mike Gordon? Is that his name? Let me look it up. Here, let me adjust things here. Let me put OBS up here. Mike Gordon is an American musician. Mike Johnson? Oh yeah, you're right. Doesn't really look like a last name Johnson. That doesn't make sense. I read like one thing about this, which is that Biden is gonna talk about taxing the rich, which is like cool, but probably not that much.
Mr. Speaker,
let this intro play a little bit. Oh, it's just a cabinet. Okay. Is that Anthony Blinken? Another guy? I mean, it's not really unexpected. Like, he's talked about it. I don't think he's really done much in that area. And he definitely doesn't want to go to the extreme that's needed, to the degree that's needed. And he probably won't even be able to get anything like that, like, implemented, so it's just like... Like, what the fuck? Oh, this is the last time we did other politics stream. There's been a lot of Trump court case shit going on. There's been a lot of that shit. Pete Buttigieg. I can remember that dude. Man, Biden should not be the fucking nominee for this year. The election, I am not looking forward to in the fucking slightest. I don't like that guy's smile. Who's the one cabinet member that they decided to make the surviving person. Is it always the agricultural person? Or was that just last year? Yeah. It's like no one's enthused. Like well, that's not true. There's some Trump people enthused, right? But it's just like you don't want this fucking matchup. This is bad. This is bad. I think the Democrats' election chances would be higher with a different candidate. 100%. It is such a big risk to go for Biden again. And it was not done without with a second thought, which is not what you want in the upper echelons of the government. You don't want there to not be thorough consideration of like fucking everything. You don't want there to just be a given. Oh, he's saying no to something. Oh, is Mr. Biden coming through? Let me make sure we're on a good quality here. My internet issues from last stream I had should be pretty much all fixed. Oh yeah, I mean, I'll vote for Biden. I mean, last time I voted for the Green Party, and like, it doesn't really matter where I live if I vote, like, who I vote for really, in terms of federal, like the presidency. Just like, yeah, I guess, yeah, sure, I'll give a vote to like the no Trump vote, I guess. Whatever. The down ballot stuff is much more important, at least where I live. Just like, fuck, have a primary, man, like, Biden shouldn't even ran, like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, he's fucking old. Does he really want to do this for another 4 more years? Is this what he wants? It's taking a long time to start. I've switched to ads. I've heard ads are good. Like 3-minute ad breaks instead of pre-rolls. I've heard that helps. Like, just stuff. So I have that. It might be a problem for this. I don't think there's really an ad break during this. I think I can snooze them. I can snooze my ads every so often. For like a limited amount of time. I guess if you sub, you don't get ads. There's that. He's so short. That's the... What? Fed? Funds and Financial. Whoa. Highlight. Fancy message. I have infinite stream points, so I can like highlight my message if I want. Where's Biden? The cabinet member's not done. Oh. Elizabeth Warren. And guy who I'm not immediately familiar with. I mean, hey, even if it's the first, it's the best, but it is also the worst, and it's also like the most mid. But I feel like that is an impressive accomplishment in of itself. Oh, did someone say something? Do I have time to talk about other shit? I didn't want to like... Okay, no I don't. Joe! Joe? Is that what we're just doing?
Mr. Speaker,
is that the way to introduce him?
of the United States.
Joe! Why did you touch his face? I assume that was his wife who kissed him. Maybe not. He just has like the same fucking face. He's just doing this like what's the word? He has like a static facial expression. That's what I'm trying to say. We can almost like kind of make out what the guys are saying to him. I think if you go back and like you really try to listen to it, you can. I think it's just called being really fucking old. These guys are clapping for a really long time. Mr. Biden, we have a, oh shit, she has her smartwatch on. Someone decipher what it says. Where's the state secrets? That guy looks really happy, the guy behind Chuck Schumer. It's like, these are fucking politicians and shit, right? Why the fuck are they out with their phones recording Biden? Like, they're probably posting on their Twitters, honestly, which sounds dumb. That's the kind of shit. It's like, oh, I'm with Biden at the State of the Union doing God's work for my constituents. Oh my. Wait, go back. Wait a second. Is that MTG? Why is it 2020? Why isn't it 2024? This is Barbara Lee. Did he not know who Barbara Lee was? Oh, the Biden border price. What else does she have on? They're clapping for so long. She starts clapping in front of him. What's that say? We are... What? She looks so fucking stupid. MTG. All the fucking Trump gear there. Is he saying... He's telling her to... She's telling him to say his name? And gave him a pin? He's taking a selfie with Biden? Holy shit, he's been walking for so long. Was it this long? In 2020? What's he trying to show him on his phone? Are you trying to take a selfie? Is he? Looks like he's trying to show him like a cat video or something. Yeah. Yep. How far in the line is he now? Can you see how far he's gone down, like in the aisle? What's he saying to Joe Manchin? Something about if that's a fact. Oh, there's Christian Gillibrand. Mid. The white outfit looks good though, with the pearl necklace and shit. I think that looks kind of good. On Christian specifically, the one on the right. Who's he saying hello to now? Maybe I do still have time to talk about stuff. What did I want to talk about? What were the things I'd talk about? What the fuck are they talking about? Where is he in the line? I can't see. This girl's eye. Oh my god. Oh, what are they doing? 4 more years? No, don't. A lot of them are wearing white, actually. I wonder if it's like for a thing. Is it the woman? She's the one that I think Joe Biden appointed to the Supreme Court, right? Oh yeah, that's the Supreme Court there. And fuck the Supreme Court. Aren't people's hands getting tired? That dude's head is so shiny. I think he might. Oh, he's almost there. He is so close. We are so close, Joe. We have almost done it, Joe. Come on. So, I have a new model coming up by the same artist as my current model, and that should be done like within 2 weeks or so. No promises. I probably won't do a big debut stream or anything. I'll probably just go live with it. The overlay is gonna be changed. I'm just using like free-to-use assets for the next overlay. I haven't fully constructed it. I'm waiting to get the actual final model. It's gonna be a full body model. It's gonna be like legs and shit, which probably not too relevant for most streams. But, like, I can do some cool things with that. Maybe in the future, like with thumbnails and like graphics and like potentially it could be useful for some stream things. I don't have like any tracking or anything, but there are like there's like an app that you can use the iPhone camera to do that shit with. And now let's maybe finally start the State of the Union. Little salute. Kinda cute.
Tony.
Who's Tony? Who's you shouting at to? Is this mic on? Have we not clapped enough? Okay. Come on.
Good evening.
Please, I'm gonna go insane like this.
Good evening.
I'm gonna hear clapping while I go to sleep.
If I were smart, I go home now.
Alright. Oh, what just happened?
Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President,
Okay, that was weird.
My fellow
Alright.
Americans.
My fellow Americans.
In January 1941, Franklin Roosevelt came to this chamber to speak to the nation, and he said, I address you at a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union. Hitler was on the march. War was raging in Europe. President Roosevelt's purpose was to wake up Congress and alert the American people that this was no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy were under assault in the world. Tonight, I come to this same chamber to address the nation. Now, it's we who face an unprecedented moment in the history of the Union. And yes, my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this is no ordinary moment either. Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time.
Calling for Ukraine aid?
Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march.
Or are we talking about? We're talking about Israel and
sowing chaos
Palestine?
throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure
It's
you he
insane
will
how
not.
Ukraine aid is like an issue. Like, it's not like typical American imperialism, you know, right? It's not
Ukraine
like
can stop Putin.
we're fighting like in the Middle East type shit. It's like it's
Ukraine
fucking
can stop
Vladimir Putin, Russia, like one of like
Stand
America's
with
long
Ukraine
term like
and provide
rivals,
weapons.
so to say.
It needs to defend itself.
In a nation that is not really supportive of democracy and like a lot of other like things that are basic rights and
That is
fundamentals. Like,
That is all Ukraine is asking. They're not asking for American soldiers. In fact, there are no American
if we're gonna
soldiers in
spend
war
so
in
much on the
Ukraine,
fucking
then I'm
military, might as well use it for some
determined to
good
keep it
for
that way.
once.
But now, assistance to Ukraine is being blocked by those who want to walk away from our world leadership. It wasn't long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Now my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want."
That shit is insane.
That's a quote. A former president actually said that, bowing down to a Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
Yeah, appeasement didn't work in fucking World War II. Why the fuck do people think it's a good idea again?
America is a founding member of NATO, the military alliance of democratic nations created after World War II to prevent war and keep the peace. And today, we've made NATO stronger than ever. Welcome Finland to the alliance last year.
I think it was Sweden today.
And just this morning, Sweden officially joined, and their minister is here tonight.
Oh,
Stand up.
yes.
Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And they know how to fight.
Well, hopefully
Mr.
don't
Prime
have to
Minister,
use it.
welcome to NATO, the strongest military alliance
I don't have
the
to
world
fucking
has
use it
ever
if, you
seen.
know, if we just fucking hand over
I say
Ukraine.
this to Congress.
And
We
like
have to
Trump
stand up
isn't
to
even
Putin.
like, his policy isn't even like appeasement,
Send me a
right?
Bipartisan national security bill.
He doesn't give a shit.
History is literally watching. History is watching.
He doesn't want to
The
stop
United States
anything.
walks away.
He doesn't want to appease. He just wants to let him do what he
Put
wants.
Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk. The free world will be at risk, emboldening others to do what they wish to do us harm. My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away. We will not bow down. I will not bow down. In a literal sense, history is watching. History is watching. Just like history watched 3 years ago on January 6th. When insurrectionists stormed this very Capitol and placed a dagger to the throat of American democracy. Many of you are here on that darkest of days. We all saw with our own eyes the insurrectionists were not patriots. They'd come to stop the peaceful transfer of power, to overturn the will of the people. January 6th lies about the 2020 election and the plots to steal the election posed a gravest threat to U.S. democracy since the Civil War. But they failed.
It's really like
America stood.
just like everything. It's like everything he's talking about, we're talking about. It's just like
America
It is fucking insane. There's so much insane shit going on. Like, this shit should not be happening. Like, what the fuck is wrong with us right
The
now?
threat to democracy must be defended. My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th.
I'm almost staring
I
into
will
my
not
soul.
do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies. Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win.
I don't love America. I do not like America. I always lose in America, I guess.
As I've done ever since being elected to office, I ask all of you without regard to party to join together and defend democracy. Remember your oath of office is defending against all threats, foreign and domestic. Respect free and fair elections, restore trust in our institutions, and make clear political violence has absolutely
You can't
no
restore
place,
trust in the
no place
institutions
America,
without,
zero
like,
place.
making structural change, which I think he doesn't do or just doesn't want to admit or whatever. And it isn't really possible anyway, but it's just like, you can't just ask people to, like, play nice and then, okay, now trust us, you know?
Suggest history is watching. We're watching.
Yeah,
Your children
yeah.
and grandchildren will read about this day and what we do.
Truth is getting harder and
History is watching
scarier,
another
especially with
assault on
AI.
Joining us tonight is Latoya Beasley, a social worker from Birmingham, Alabama. 14 months ago.
It's terrifying.
14
Like,
months ago, she and her husband welcomed a baby girl thanks to the miracle
how old
of
is this
IVF.
guy? How old is Biden at this point? This is the guy we have in office
But the Alabama
during
Supreme
like
Court
an
shut down
absolutely
IVF treatments across the
exponential
state.
AI race and explosion.
by a
Like,
Supreme
this is
Court
what
decision
we
overturning Roe
got
v.
to
Wade.
regulate that. Like,
She was told her dream would have to
Fuck.
wait. What her family had got through should never have happened unless Congress acts. It could happen again. So tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer. Guarantee the right to AVF. Guarantee it nationwide. Like most Americans, I believe Roe v. Wade got it right. I thank Vice President Harris for being an incredible leader defending reproductive freedom.
well, that's also because our legislative system is completely fucked. It's just fucked going all the way down.
Thank you. My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it. Look at the chaos that has resulted. Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the wife and mother from Dallas. She's become
I'm
pregnant
sorry.
again and had a fetus of a
I
fatal
thought,
condition.
okay.
Her doctor told Kate that her
Never
own
mind.
life and her ability to have children in the future
What's-
were at risk if she didn't act. Because Texas law banned her ability to act, Kate and her husband had to leave the state to get what she needed. What her family got through should have never happened as well, but it's happening in too many others. There are state
girl on the
laws
left to
banning
her,
freedom to
Jesus.
choose, criminalizing doctors, forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need. Many of you in this chamber and my predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom. My God, what freedom else would you take away? Look,
Every fucking single one
the
they can.
decision
You
to
know?
overturn Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court majority wrote the following.
Abortion's
With
rights.
all due respect, justices,
Gonna do.
women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power.
What?
You're about to realize just how much you get right about that.
What did he even say?
Clearly,
I think that the subtitle didn't even write it because I don't think they knew what he said. No, but the abortionist right is gonna be like, this is the one of the fucking driving things to the polls. If Democrats like have a good year this year,
those
it's gonna be
bragging
that.
about
They
overturning
probably
Roe v.
will.
Wade have no clue about the power of women, but they found out.
Yeah, all
When
women whose
reproductive
rights
freedom
were.
was on the
Oh,
ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
I mean, Democrats did insanely well last year, I think, for midterms, if I remember correctly. Like, and it's only Democrats, by all means,
If you
should have a
If you,
good
the
year this
American
year.
people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
If he gets a congressional majority,
Folks,
probably could, right?
America cannot go back. I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward, because I know how far we come.
Look up.
4 years ago next week,
Yeah,
before
yeah,
I came to
yeah.
office, the country was hit by the worst pandemic and the worst economic crisis in a century. Remember the fear, record losses. Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate.
How does any
raging
senator
virus
should be a bitch about the abortion
more
right
than
thing?
1
That's a
million
pretty
American
critical issue that I
lives
think
of loved ones,
like
millions left
Democrats
behind.
understand like is
Mental
like
health crisis,
the
of
issue at the
isolation and
moment,
loneliness.
you know?
A president, my predecessor, failed the most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care. I think that's
Oh.
unforgivable.
I'm a child
Came
liar.
to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history.
Biden didn't even
have.
flinch. That was
It
good.
doesn't make news in 1,000 cities and towns. The American people are writing the greatest comeback story never told.
I mean, like, it's like,
So let's tell the story here. Tell it here and now. America's comeback is building the future of American possibilities, building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. Investing in all America, in all Americans, to make sure everyone has a fair shot. And we leave no one
I think we've
behind.
generally had probably a better than
The
expected
pandemic no
COVID
longer
recovery,
controls our
but
lives. The vaccines that saved us from COVID are now being used to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback.
Really?
That's what America does. That's what America does.
is that true? I haven't heard about that.
Folks, my inherited economy is on the brink. Now our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years, a record, a record.
What about like housing and like affording basic needs and like wages and stuff? Like,
At 50
that's
year
also
low.
important, you know?
A record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a literal act of hope. With historic job growth and small business growth for Black and Hispanics and Asian Americans, 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in America and counting.
Yeah.
Where is it written we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? We are.
It's
we
crazy
will.
how there's still people like that.
More people
I'm seeing that a
have health
lot.
insurance today. More people have health insurance today.
It's
than
that's
ever
it's a hard
before.
problem to solve, the problem about like
The racial wealth gap is as small as it's been in 20 years.
how to properly educate people
Wages keep going up,
about this sort
inflation
of
keeps
shit.
coming down.
There's a lot of things that
Inflation
could
has
be
dropped from
done.
9%
Frankly,
to 3%, the
actual
lowest in the
schools
world,
should be,
and
you know,
trending lower.
very different, I think.
The
You know,
landing
and, like,
is and will be soft.
It's all kind of comes from the same feeling,
Now,
right?
instead of
You know, like those
importing-
people are being just
importing foreign products and
exploited.
Exporting American jobs. We're exporting American products.
People who
and
believe in the
creating
conspiracy theories and that kind of
American
stuff.
jobs. Right here in America, where they belong. And it takes time, but the American people are beginning to feel it. Consumer studies show consumer confidence is soaring. Buy America has been the law of the land since the 1930s. Past
Think-
administrations, including my
I think America is just getting kind of
including some
crushed under
Democrats
the
as well in
stress
the
of like the
past,
developments of the
failed to buy
world and
America. Not anymore.
economy and technology
On my watch,
too
federal
rapidly,
projects that you
and it
fund,
was ever situated to
like
keep
helping
up.
build American roads, bridges, and highways will be made with American products.
I think it'll
and
probably
built
get
by
crushed under the
American
weight of it.
workers.
And really, we're kind of in the process of that.
Creating good-paying American jobs. And thanks to our CHIPS and Science Act, the United States is investing more in research and development than ever before. During the pandemic, a shortage of semiconductors, chips, that drove up the price of everything from cell phones to automobiles. And by the way, we invented those chips right here in America. Well, instead of having to import them, instead of private companies are now investing billions of dollars to build new chip factories here in America, creating tens of thousands of jobs. Many of those jobs paying $100,000 a year.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the CHIPS Act results, and we kind of need it too. Because of how the world is kind of popping off right now is any indication, we may not be able to rely on Taiwan's chips factories forever.
Policies have attracted $650 billion in private sector investment in clean energy, advanced manufacturing, creating tens of thousands of jobs here in America. And thanks to our bipartisan infrastructure law, 46,000 new projects have been announced all across your communities. And by the way, I noticed some of you...
People are just like, why is it? Why am I up here?
Money coming in. I like it. I'm with you. I'm with you. If any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. Modernizing our roads and bridges, ports and airports.
I think we do. I mean, should we? Yeah, I think probably yeah, but regardless, I think we definitely go to bat for Taiwan. If Trump's president,
high-speed internet for every American, no matter where you live, urban, suburban,
it gets a little rougher, but I think like Taiwan is a very close ally of us. Like, we're basically the only thing that I think has kept them around for so long. The reason why China would probably attack Taiwan is because they would, if they think we won't step in.
Stay in the family for those farms and their children and grandchildren.
You know, they're watching Ukraine.
Leave home to make a living.
And you know, Taiwan has a bunch of valuable stuff for us, like computer shit.
Illinois. Home to an auto plant for nearly 60 years. Before I came to office, the plant was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihoods. Hope was fading. Then I was elected to office and we raised the Belvedere repeatedly with auto companies knowing unions would make all the difference. The UAW worked like hell to keep the plant open.
I think we gotta protect Taiwan.
Back, and together we succeeded. Instead of auto factories shutting down,
just from an ally perspective too, they've been an ally for us for a while. And also a moral perspective. Because you're just like Ukraine, China wouldn't stop. You know? It wouldn't just be Taiwan.
The folks of Belvedere, I say, instead of your town being left behind,
if we showed China we can literally be walked over on one of our most important allies.
Jobs of the future,
like, it's fucking over, really. Like, who you know, yeah, like, what the fuck do you do then? It's like China just, this is an open invitation to let China do whatever the fuck it wants. So like, roll out the welcome mat.
UAW President Shawn Fain, a great friend and a great labor leader. Shawn, where are you? Stand up.
Oh yeah, and I think China knows that.
And Dawn Sim, a third-generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere.
So they haven't, you know, they haven't gone in lightly. I don't know if they're like Russia, who would get overextended when they don't mean to. I feel like I mean, they got a billion population. They aren't anything to scoff at, you know?
Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build
their economy is crazy, right?
The middle class built the country.
They can fucking afford, you know, build whatever they need. And it would also be difficult for us to protect it too, I think. I mean, it's a sea away.
I say to the American people, when America gets knocked down, we get back up.
Especially from the view of like country morale with the war as well. It can be hard to motivate people on that.
It's because of you, America.
Sending U.S. troops for island in a way, you know. We can't even fucking get good aid for Ukraine. And Russia's our like most historic kind of enemy. So it's like, if that isn't enough, what is enough? Probably nothing. And so, if Ukraine does it gets fucked, you know, it's probably already over at that point. China can just walk into Taiwan.
I want to talk about the future of possibilities that we can build together. A future where the days of trickle-down economics are over, and the wealthy and the biggest corporations no longer get all the tax breaks. And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state
Oh, yeah.
there's more corporations invested
Oh,
in
yeah.
every one of your states in the state of the United States combined. And I represented it for 36 years. I'm not anti-corporation.
It'd be extremely difficult. I don't know how the terrain
in
of
a home where trickle-down economics
Taiwan
didn't
itself
put much
is
on my
either.
dad's kitchen table. That's why I determined to turn things around. So middle
China
class
is very
does
close, so they have that leg up on the US, but the US does still outspend.
We all do well. And there's more to do to make
China.
sure you're feeling the benefits of all we're doing.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's happening with Ukraine right now.
Prescription drugs than anywhere in the world. It's wrong, and I'm ending it.
Limit prescription drug prices. The insulin shit is good. Can't knock them for that.
With a law that I proposed and signed, not one of you Republican buddies voted for it. We finally beat Big Pharma.
I'm not
Instead
prepared to
of
say
paying
that.
$400 a month or thereabouts for insulin with diabetes, and it only costs $10 to make, they only get paid $35 a month now and still make a healthy profit. And I want to.
I think we would need to send troops in that situation.
The cost of insulin, $35 a month
think
for
we just
every
gotta.
American who needs it. Everyone. For years, people have talked about it, but finally we got it done and gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs, just like the VA is able to do for veterans. That's not just saving seniors money, it's saving taxpayers money. We cut the federal deficit by $160 billion. Because Medicare will no longer have to pay those exorbitant prices to Big Pharma. This year, Medicare is negotiating lower prices for some of the costliest drugs on the market to treat everything from heart disease to arthritis. It's now time to go further and give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices for 500 different drugs over the next decade.
Yeah,
We're making a lot of money,
something.
guys. And they'll still be extremely profitable. Will not only save lives, it will save taxpayers another $200 billion. Starting next year, the same law caps total prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at $2,000 a year, even for expensive cancer drugs that cost $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. Now I want to cap prescription drug costs at $2,000 a year for everyone. Folks,
$2,000 is insane. You know, it's something, but just doesn't go. None of this stuff goes far enough. You know, like,
fly to Toronto, Berlin, Moscow. Even Moscow probably.
what are we done?
And bring your prescription with you, and I promise you, I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now. Same company, same drug, same place. Folks,
I don't think I understood that.
the Affordable Care Act, the old Obamacare, it's still a very big deal.
It is. It definitely is. Probably one of the biggest legislative like things in. I mean, it was over a decade ago now, I think, right?
Over 100 million of you can no longer be denied health insurance because of pre-existing condition. Well, my predecessor and many in this chamber want to take this prescription drug away by repealing the Affordable Care Act.
Fucking insane.
I'm not going to let that happen. We stopped you 50 times before, and we'll stop you again.
It's great that like there really has been nothing done like
I'm expanding it.
help prepare and increase the core of our democracy for a potential Trump presidency again, or just Republicans in general. I mean, you can't really do much because Republicans control the House, but you know.
Savings permanent. To state the obvious, women are more than half our population, but research on women's health has always been underfunded. That's why we're launching the first ever White House initiative on women's health research, led by Jill, doing an incredible job as First Lady.
Who's that?
So pass my plan for $12 billion to transfer women's health research and benefit millions of lives all across America. I know the cost of
Those
housing
chairs
is so
look
important.
really big.
If inflation keeps coming down, mortgage rates will come down as well, and the Fed acknowledges that. But I'm not waiting. I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home or trade up for a little more space. Just for 2 years.
Is that enough? And what about rent for apartments?
And my administration is also eliminating title insurance on federally backed mortgages. When you refinance your home, you can save $1,000 or more as a consequence. For millions of renters, we're cracking down on big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws by price fixing and driving up rents. We've cut red tape so builders can get federally financing, which is already helping build a record 1.7 million new housing units nationwide. Now pass and build and renovate 2 million affordable homes and bring those rents down. To remain the strongest economy in the world, we need to have the best education system in the world.
Which we do not. We do not.
And I suspect all of you, want to give every child, a good start by providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old. You know, I think I pointed out last year.
I mean, that doesn't really help much, honestly.
I think I pointed out last year that children coming from broken
I mean, it
homes
might,
where no books,
but I mean,
not spoken to very often.
more systemic stuff.
School,
Like,
kindergarten, or first grade.
Hacking on more
having
years
heard a
of school
million
doesn't
fewer
fix the
words
rest of
spoken.
school.
Well, studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school, go on to earn a 2- and 4-year degree, no matter what their background is.
I went to preschool. Yeah.
I met a year and a half ago with the leaders of the Business Roundtable. They were mad that they were angry. I think, well, they were discussing
And kids are supposedly
why I
not
wanted to
doing
spend
great in
money on
school right
education.
now.
I pointed out to them as vice president.
The COVID years
I
fucked
met
people
with
up.
over I think it
With
was
tons of kids behind.
182 of those folks. Don't hold me to the exact number. And I asked them what they need most, the CEOs. And you've had the same experience on both sides of the aisle. They say a better educated workforce, right? So I looked at them and I say, I come from Delaware. DuPont used to be the 8th largest corporation in the world. And every new enterprise they bought, they educated the workforce to that enterprise. But none of you do that anymore. Why are you angry with me providing you the opportunity for the best educated workforce in the world? And they all looked at me and said, I think you're right. I want to expand high-quality tutoring and summer learning to see that every child learns to read by 3rd grade.
Again, is this just tacking on more and more time on the people on their learning?
I'm also connecting
That's the
local
answer.
businesses in high schools so students get hands-on experience and a path to good-paying job whether or not they go to college. And I want to make sure that college is more affordable. Let's continue increasing the Pell Grants to working and middle-class families and increase record investments in HBCUs and minority-serving institutions, including Hispanic institutions. When I was told I couldn't universally just change the way in which we dealt with student loans, I fixed 2 student loan programs that already existed to reduce the burden of student debt for nearly 4 million Americans, including nurses, firefighters, and others in public service.
There is an ad about to happen on my stream.
Minnesota, who's here with us tonight. Keenan, where are you? Keenan, thank you.
I'm gonna run it now because I don't think this is anything too crazy. So it's gonna be 3 minutes. You can sub if you don't want to watch it. Wow. Hello, the 0 subscribers I have. And VOD watchers.
Economy because folks are now able to buy a home, start a business, start a family. While we're at it, I want to give public school teachers a raise.
Yeah. I know that would be massively helpful, but I don't think it will. This is the problem with so many of these things. They're so
By the
core.
way, the first couple of years we cut the deficit. Now let me speak to the question of fundamental fairness for all Americans. I've been delivering real results in fiscally responsible ways. We've already cut the federal deficit. We've already cut the federal deficit over $1 trillion. I signed the bipartisan deal to cut another $1 trillion in the next decade. It's my goal to cut the federal deficit under
Mike has
$3
just
trillion
been,
by
like,
making big corporations very wealthy
shaking his head the whole
finally
time.
beginning to pay their fair share.
Of course they show AOC. Where's that guy's note?
I'm a capitalist. If you want to make it to make
Yikes.
millions of bucks, that's great. Just pay your fair share in taxes. A fair tax code is how we invest things to make this country great. Healthcare, education, defense, and so much more. But here's the deal. The last administration enacted a $2 trillion tax cut, overwhelmingly benefit the top 1%, the very wealthy and the biggest corporations, and exploded the federal deficit. They added more to the national debt than any
Why is he staring at the camera so hard?
Check the numbers. Folks at home, does anybody really think the tax code is fair? Do you really think the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax
Thank
break?
you. You're a
I
naughty.
sure don't. I'm going to keep fighting like hell to make it fair. Under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay an additional penny in federal taxes. Nobody, not one penny.
That's good.
They haven't yet.
That's good. That's good. That's good. We just need way more on rich people.
During the pandemic, cut taxes for millions of working families and cut child poverty in half.
Could probably cut taxes for the rest of us and increase the top people in the right amount.
No child should go hungry in this country. The way to make the tax code fair is to make big corporations and the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Remember in 2020, 55 of the biggest companies in America made $40 billion and paid zero in federal income tax. Zero. Not anymore. Thanks to the law I wrote and we signed, big companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. But that's still less than working people pay in federal taxes.
What the fuck did
It's
they...
time to raise corporate minimum tax to at least 21%.
Corporate tax, like, in, like, the fucking 70s or, like, 60s and shit was insane. Like, that shit was fucking high. Like, if you told me that today without having that knowledge of how high the corporate taxes used to be, like, I would say, that might be a bit too much. But fucking worked.
They can pay them $20 million if they want, but deduct $1 million. End it now. You know, there are 1,000 billionaires in America.
Let me look that up.
You know what the average federal tax is for those billionaires? No.
What did they say?
Great sacrifices, 8.2%. That's far less than the vast majority of Americans pay. No billionaire should pay a lower federal tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse.
Let's see. 19. Wait, no, these aren't corporate tax rates, I don't think.
A minimum tax for billionaires of 25%, just 25%. You know what that would raise? That would raise $500 billion over the next 10 years. And imagine
That
what
would be
that could do
good.
for America. Imagine a future with affordable child care. Millions of families can get they need to go to work to help grow the economy. Imagine a future with paid leave, because no one should have to choose between working and taking care of their sick family members.
That's, yeah, we fucking need PTO.
Imagine the future of home care and elder care.
Yeah, thank God. Actually being able to take sick days and shit.
So they can stay
That'd be
in their
amazing for
homes and
people.
family caregivers can finally get the pay they deserve. Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends
Bro, that's you.
on the
You're
other
the
side of the aisle
senior.
want to put Social Security on the chopping block. If anyone here tries to cut Social Security or Medicare or raise the retirement age, I will stop you.
I like how simple that is. Cut and dry. I'll stop you.
The working people,
That's real.
the working people who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do. It's not fair. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal.
What the fuck do you guys think you're doing?
Another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what the plan was.
Bro, looks like a clown.
That's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion for the super wealthy. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share. Look,
Who's yelling?
too many corporations raise prices to pad their profits, charging more and more for less and less. That's why we're cracking down on corporations that engage in price gouging and deceptive pricing, from food to healthcare to housing. In fact, the snack companies think you won't notice if they change the size of the bag, put a hell of a lot fewer, same size bag, put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation. Pass Bobby Casey's bill and stop this. I really mean it.
What does that bill say? How do you define that? They have a law against that.
You probably all saw that commercial on Snickers bars. You get charged the same amount, and you got about, I don't know, 10% fewer Snickers in it.
Yeah,
Look,
Joe, love
I'm
that
also getting rid
commercial.
of junk fees. Those hidden fees.
He loves the junk fees thing. He talks about that every fucking chance he gets.
My administration announced we're cutting credit card late fees from $32 to $8. Banks and credit card companies are allowed to charge what it costs them to instigate the collection. And that's more, a hell of a lot, like $8 and 30-some dollars. They don't like it. The credit card companies don't like it. But I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk fees I'm eliminating.
Is there anything coming out of the Ticketmaster shit and all that? Anything happening there?
That's why the banks are so mad. It's $20 billion in profit. I'm not stopping there. My administration has proposed rules to make cable, travel, utilities, and online ticket sellers tell you the total price up front, so there are no surprises. It matters. It matters. And so does this. In November, my team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges to help tackle the backload of 2 million cases, 4,000
2
more
million.
asylum officers.
God damn.
And new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now. What are you against? 100 more high-tech drug detection machines to significantly increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America. That's killing thousands of children. This bill would save lives and bring order to the border. It would also give me and any new president new emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming. The Border Patrol Union has endorsed this bill. The Federal Chamber of Commerce is, yeah. You
Why would the
no, look at
Republicans
the
not like
facts.
that?
I know you know how to read.
Do we though, for some of these people? They don't seem to read the bills they vote on or don't vote on.
I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate would endorse the bill as well, a majority right now. But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far. I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress in the Senate to demand they block the bill. He feels
He hasn't said his name or anything yet. He's got him as his predecessor.
It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really.
I'd be a winner? What's happening? What's he doing? Did she throw a button at him?
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right.
What's happening?
But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her
What's happening?
parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. But look, if we change the dynamic at the border, people pay these smugglers $8,000 to get across the border because they know if they get by and let into the country, it's 6 to 8 years before they have a hearing. And it's worth taking the chance of the $8,000. But if it's only 6 weeks,
6
the
weeks?
idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and come all that way knowing that they'll be able to be kicked out quickly. Folks,
Did she throw the button at him or did he just pick up the one he got earlier?
My Republican friends owe it to the American people, get this bill done. We need to act now.
That, was kind of cobbled together. That was a bit rough. It's times like those, where he's doing something kind of on the spot, you can really feel his age. He's just not really, sharp or quick-witted.
Instead of paying politics and pressuring members of Congress to block the bill, join me in telling the Congress to pass it. We can do it together. But that's what here's what he will not do. I will not demonize immigrants saying they are poison in the blood of our country. I will not separate families. I will not ban people because of their faith. Unlike my predecessor on my first day in office, I introduced a comprehensive bill to fix our immigration system. Take a look at it. It has all these and more. Secure the border. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. And so much more. But unlike my predecessor,
It's just all Band-Aid shit, you know?
we're the only nation in the world with a heart and soul that draws from old and new. Home to Native Americans, whose ancestors have been here for thousands of years. Home to people of from every place on earth. They came freely. Some came in chains. Some came when famine struck, like my ancestral family in Ireland. Some to flee persecution, to chase dreams that are impossible anywhere but here in America. That's America. And we all come from somewhere, but we're all American.
I really hate the in God we trust shit. We really need the religious shit
We have
here.
a simple choice. We can fight about fixing the border, or we can fix it. I'm ready to fix it. Send me the border bill now.
I mean, it's a little disingenuous because it really assumes that, like, I mean,
A transformational moment in history happened 59 years ago today in Selma, Alabama. Hundreds of foot soldiers for justice marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, named after the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, to claim their fundamental right to vote. They were beaten, they were bloody, and left for dead. Our late friend and former colleague, John Lewis, was on that march. We miss him.
Okay, I was gonna say, bro doesn't stand up for that. Yeah, come on, you gotta. You don't win not not clapping for that.
Marches, both in the gallery and on the floor, including Betty Mae Fikes, known as the voice of Selma. The daughter of gospel singers and preachers, she sang songs of prayer and protest on that bloody Sunday to help shake the nation's conscience. 5 months later, the Voting Rights Act passed and was signed into law. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I wonder what's going on with the women of the Democratic women all doing the white dresses. Like, I feel like it's gotta mean something. It's gotta have some symbolism that they're trying to get across.
But 59
I'll look it up.
later,
White women? I
forces taking us back in
don't know if I
time.
should look that up.
Voter suppression, election subversion, unlimited dark money, extreme gerrymandering. John Lewis was a great friend to many of us here, but if you truly want to honor him and all the heroes who marched with him, then it's time to do more than talk. Pass the Freedom to Vote Act. The John Lewis
The
Voting
Democratic
Rights Act.
Women's Caucus announced that many of its members will wear white and don special pins that read "Fighting for Reproductive Freedom" after the event. Okay.
And stop denying another core value of America, our diversity across American life. Banning books, it's wrong. Instead of erasing history, let's make history. I want to protect fundamental rights. Pass the Equality Act.
It looks like he's like scheming, conniving in the background.
I have your back. Pass the PRO Act for workers' rights.
Can this guy not let some union strike? I remember railroad workers strike or something like that.
Has a right to a decent living more than $7 an hour. We're also making history by confronting the climate crisis, not denying
We
it.
wanted to raise it to 15 like 10 years
There's no
ago.
longer a climate crisis. At least I hope you don't.
Like, we need more at this
I'm taking
point.
the most significant action ever on climate in the history of the world. I'm cutting our carbon emissions in half by 2030, creating tens of thousands of clean energy jobs like the IBEW work is building and installing 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. Conserving 30% of America's lands and waters by 2030. And taking action on environmental justice fence line communities smothered by the legacy of pollution. And pattern after the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps, I launched the Climate Corps to put 20,000 young people to work in the forefront of our clean energy future. I'll triple that number in a decade.
We're gonna need more than triple, I feel like. I wonder how much of like
State the obvious.
the coasts
All
are
Americans
susceptible to flooding.
Deserve the
Right
freedom
now.
to be safe. And America's
Within,
safer
like, the
today
next
than
10
when I
years.
took office. Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%.
What the fuck did you
30%
say?
they went up. The biggest
fuck is he
increase in
saying?
history. It was then, through my American Rescue Plan, which every
15
American
million
voted
is a
against, I
lot.
might add, we made
Yeah.
the largest investment in
I think
public
it's
safety ever. Last year, the murder rate saw the sharpest decrease in history. Violent crime fell to one of its
I think it's,
lowest
yeah, it's
levels in more
$15
than 50
where I
years.
am, I think.
But we have more to do.
And it's like, and it's also like, and then the thing is also in those blue states, those are typically the ones that need an even higher minimum wage, right?
Give communities the tool to crack down on gun crime, retail crime, and carjacking.
Like a $15 minimum wage would go a lot farther in some of these like southern red states and stuff than it would in a blue state.
And calling for it to be the law of the land. Directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and expunging thousands of convictions for the mere possession, because no one should be jailed for simply using or have it on their record.
Yeah, like one was like,
Crimes of domestic violence. I'm ramping up the federal enforcement of the Violence Against Women Act that I proudly
when it was
wrote when I was a
$15, like
senator. So we can finally end the scourge against women in America.
but yeah, originally even proposed, because also with inflation, like that would have raised
Kinds of violence I want to
what it
stop.
really should be right now.
With us tonight is Jasmine, whose 9-year-old sister Jackie was murdered, with 21 classmates and teachers
Welcome
in elementary
back.
school in Uvalde, Texas.
It's still going.
Very
That
soon
was only
after that
supposed to be an
happened, Joe
hour.
and I went to Uvalde for a couple of days. We spent hours and hours with each of the families.
Oh,
We
fuck.
heard their message, so everyone in this room, in this chamber, could hear the same message. The constant refrain, and I was there for hours meeting with every family. They said, do something. Do something. Well, I did do something by establishing the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the White House, that the Vice President is leading the charge. Thank you for doing it.
It's so fucking awful.
Meanwhile,
That we have to be like worried and scared of like just mass shootings. Just who the fuck knows where
Meanwhile-
next?
my predecessor told the NRA he's proud he did nothing
It's-
on guns when he was president.
I don't think there's any fixing them. It's just too ingrained in American culture and law, like the Second Amendment.
He said, just get over it. There's his quote, just get over it.
We'd have to regulate it to the point
I
of being
say
like fucking
stop it.
useless.
Stop it, stop it, stop it. I'm proud we beat the NRA when I signed most significant gun safety law in nearly 30 years because of this Congress. We now must beat the NRA again. I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons
Oh,
and
you're leaving
high-capacity
again? Oh,
magazines.
it's okay. Bye-bye.
Pass universal background checks. None of this.
These bros are just on their
The
phones.
Second Amendment for 12 years. None of this
Can we see what
violates the
games
Second
you're playing?
Amendment or vilifies responsible gun owners. You know, as we manage challenges at home, we're also managing crises abroad, including in the Middle East. I
Oh,
know
boy.
the last 5 months have been gut-wrenching for so many people.
Oh
For the
boy.
Israeli people, for the Palestinian people,
Wow.
and so many
That's
here in
so
America.
Still got a drink here.
This crisis began on October 7th with a massacre by a terrorist group called Hamas, as you all know. 1,200 innocent people, women and girls, men and boys, slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. And 250 hostages taken. Here in this chamber tonight are families whose loved ones are still being held by Hamas. I pledge to all the families that we will not rest until we bring every one of your loved ones home. We also,
Yeah, that's a bipartisan issue. Is interesting.
we will also work around the clock to bring home Evan and Paul, Americans being unjustly detained by the Russians and others around the world. Israel has the right to go after Hamas. Hamas ended this conflict by releasing hostages, laying down arms, could end it by releasing the hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering those responsible for October 7th. But Israel has Israel has a added burden because Hamas hides and operates among the civilian population like cowards. under hospitals, daycare centers, and all the like. Israel also has a fundamental responsibility, though, to protect innocent civilians in Gaza.
Then why don't they do that?
This war
This situation is wholly fucked. I don't even think we should be involved, honestly.
has taken a
There's no
greater
right
toll on
answer.
innocent civilians than all previous wars in Gaza combined. More than 30,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of whom are not Hamas. Thousands and thousands of innocents, women and children, girls and boys, also orphaned. Nearly 2 million more Palestinians under bombardment or displacement. Homes destroyed, neighborhoods in rubble, cities in ruin. Families without food, water, medicine. It's heartbreaking. I've been working nonstop to establish an immediate ceasefire that would last for 6 weeks to get all the prisoners released, all the hostages released, to get the hostages home and ease the intolerable and humanitarian crisis and build toward an enduring, something more enduring. The United States has been leading international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance to Gaza. Tonight, I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza that can receive large shipments carrying food, water, medicine, and temporary shelters. No U.S. boots will be on the ground. A temporary pier will enable a massive increase in the amount of humanitarian assistance getting into Gaza every day.
Huh. That doesn't sound bad. It sounds good, actually.
And
Right?
Israel must do its part. Israel must allow more aid into Gaza to ensure humanitarian workers aren't caught in the crossfire. And they're announcing they're going to
That's
have a crossing in northern Gaza.
gonna be just tricky. That's gonna be scary.
To Israel, I say this. Humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority. As we look to the future,
Does it say
the
stop
only real
sending
solution
bombs?
to the situation is a two-state solution over time. And I say this as a lifelong supporter of Israel. My entire career, no one has a stronger record with Israel than I do. I challenge any of you here. I'm the only American president of Israel in wartime. But there is no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity.
Poverty?
There's no other path that
Certainly, I
guarantees
say
peace
poverty.
between Israel and all of its neighbors, including Saudi Arabia, with whom I'm talking. Creating stability in the Middle East also means containing the threat.
He seems to be having more
posed by
trouble
Iran.
speaking as the
That's why
speech
I've
goes
built a
on.
coalition of more
Guess
than
that makes
a dozen
sense.
countries to defend international shipping and freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. I've ordered strikes to degrade the Houthi capability and defend U.S. forces in the region. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people and our military personnel. For years, I've heard many of my Republican and Democratic friends say that China is on the rise and America is falling behind. They've got it backwards. I've been saying it for over 4 years, even when I wasn't president. America's rising.
It's-
We have the best economy in the world.
uh,
And since I've come
China's
to
not falling behind, are they?
Oh,
hold on. I don't think that's true.
And we're standing up against China's unfair economic practices.
what's the word?
Standing up for peace and stability across the Taiwan Straits. I've revitalized our partnership and alliance in the Pacific.
You gotta be fucking, like, we fuck up Ukraine.
Australia, Japan, South Korea, Pacific Islands. I've made sure that the most advanced American technologies can't be used in China, not allowing to trade them there. Frankly, for all this tough talk on China, it never occurred to my predecessor to do any of that. I want competition with China, not conflict. We're in a stronger position to win the conflict of the 21st century against China than anyone else, for that matter, than any time as well. Here at home, I've signed over 400 bipartisan bills there's more to pass my unity agenda. Strengthen penalties on fentanyl trafficking. You don't want to do that, huh? Pass bipartisan privacy legislation to protect our children online.
Oh, no, no. We're not talking about Kozo.
Harness the promise of AI to protect us from peril. Ban AI voice impersonations and more.
How would that? Why would you be able to ban that?
Obligation.
What do you mean by
Train
impersonation?
and equip those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't.
Veterans Affairs, right? It's just like, because like if we're trying to specifically support the veterans, this is like, we should be supporting everyone.
That's why,
Like that would include
the
veterans.
song Support and Help of Dennis and the VA, I signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever. Helping millions of veterans exposed to toxins who now are battling more than 100 different cancers. Many of them don't come home, but we owe them and their families support. We owe it to ourselves to keep supporting our new health research agency called ARPA-H. And remind us that we can do big things like end cancer as we know it, and we will.
We'll see. We'll see. I think you talked about this last time too. I'm not so sure that's going to be happening anytime soon.
Let me close with this.
Oh, we're closing.
Yay.
You're just
I know
looking
you
at
won't hear
them.
any more, Lindsay, but I got to say a few more things. I know it may not look like it, but I've been around a while.
Yeah.
When you get to be my age, certain things become clearer than ever. I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation. Between those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America into the future. My lifetime has taught me to embrace freedom and democracy, a future based on core values that have defined America: honesty, decency, dignity, equality, to respect everyone, to give everyone a fair shot, to give hate no safe harbor. Now, other people my age see it differently. The American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution, that's not me. I was born amid World War II when America stood for the freedom of the world. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware.
Always
among
mention
working-class
Scranton.
people who built this country. I watched in horror as two of my heroes, like many of you did, Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy, were assassinated. And their legacies inspired me to pursue a career in service. I left the law firm and became a public defender because my city of Wilmington was the only city in America occupied by the National Guard after Dr. King was assassinated because of the riots. And I became a county councilman almost by accident. I got elected to the United States Senate when I had no intention of running at age 29.
Was he that young when he
Then
was
vice
elected as a
president, our
senator?
first black president. Now president to the first women vice president.
God, I hope we do not get stuck with Kamala.
In my career, I've been told I was too young. By the way, they didn't let me on the Senate elevators for votes sometimes. Not a joke.
Isn't it elevators?
I'm too old.
Where are the elevators?
Whether young or old, I've always known what endures. I've known our North Star. The very idea of America is that we're all created equal and deserve to be treated equally throughout our lives. We've never fully lived up to that idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I won't walk away from it now. I'm optimistic. I really am. I'm optimistic, Nancy.
Nancy Pelosi? Isn't he? No.
Fellow Americans,
It's, no, I don't want 4 more years of Biden.
isn't how old we are.
No.
It's It's how old are our ideas? Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. But you can't lead America with ancient ideas that only take us back. You lead America, the land of possibilities. You need a vision for the
They
future.
want to go
and
back.
what
They
can
all
and
want to
should
go
be
back. That's the
done.
whole objective. That's like the point for them.
Tonight you've heard mine. I see a future where defending democracy, you don't diminish it. I see a future where we restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away.
Republicans aren't going to clap for that.
I see a future where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes.
That would be amazing. That would be
I
great.
see a future.
Maybe shooting a little bit too high. Don't think you're going to do that, Mr.
Our
Biden.
country from gun violence. Above all, I see a future for all Americans. I see a country for all Americans. And I will always be president for all Americans because I believe in America. I believe in you, the American people. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now. So let's build the future together. Let's remember who we are. We are the United States of America. And there is nothing
Hey, Mike's clapping for that one.
beyond our capacity when we act together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Alright. That was a pretty mid-speech. I feel like there were some policies he's interested in pushing and stuff of note. I don't feel like he really said anything of note. Well, I feel like I don't think there's really like any big attention-grabbing lines. I don't think he pushed any rhetoric or culture in one way or the other. I feel like it was just kinda whatever, it was just kinda here. And I can say, God, am I not looking forward to another 4 years of this guy if we get him. I mean, he hasn't been sharp for a while. He's been aging hard for a while. Imagine fucking 4 years from now, like 4 plus, like Jesus, man. As Biden, that is the best thing he can do because he isn't good himself. Like that, if he could try, he just isn't that. He's not the candidate where if he's trying to be good himself. So might as well hammer in on your appeal, I guess, rather than trying to fool and bullshit about who he is. Where any it's like the one who got away. No, look at him with like a bit of a sad twinge, like, oh, what could have been? What fucking could have been? Where would America be right now? Imagine 2 terms of Bernie. God. Fucking hell. I really feel like there's much to go from here in America, it's like Biden was supposed to be like some kind of transitional candidate, and he's going for a 2nd term now. He's fucking barely there, he's old as fuck. Conservatives have just gotten more and more conservative. Democrats haven't really pushed the fold, haven't really gotten any more progressive or more democratic, just more on their end. Democracy's constantly under threat. Like, Trump is still very much Trump. You know, he hasn't gone away as the figure and leader of the Republican Party, despite holding no office for the past, like, 4 years and being fucking Trump.
Amazing. You did a good job. You're right on. Yeah, you were on fire. You were on fire. You were on fire.
kind of wish sometimes there was cognitive.
Oh, the cognitive. Do you say kind of wish sometimes you had cognitive impairment? Yeah, like the left to continue to, the left, quote unquote, to be continually sort of apathetic / not appropriately reactive to the right is like we are not. Yeah, we're not standing. We're not meeting their force pushing against us. We're not standing as hard. We're trying to push against them even. We're losing, sort of, in many ways. Just that they've been able to do this much and get so far and make the Democrats this, we have lost a good bit already. Like, fuck. How does that phone call shit even work? Can someone moderate that? Fuck. Oh, that's the State of the Union.
I was going to make the second course.
I go to sleep at like an hour and a half or so, so this is probably it for the stream, basically. I don't have my chat and topics or anything. I do have a list of them, actually. I don't feel like pulling it up. I wasn't prepared for that. I just saw the State of the Union and I was like, yeah, shit. I should do this. Next time will hopefully be Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, because I want to fucking finish it. Hopefully that won't be too far in the future. So if that's the case, then probably wouldn't be with my next / new model. Or maybe it would be. I don't know. Probably won't be coming that soon though. But the California Senate race is interesting. I haven't looked at it much in a while. But yeah, I'll close up here. We were with each other for but a short time and we only talked about politics, but I'm glad to still have done this. I'm gonna pick someone to raid because I remember this time and I have a great channel in mind. So follow me here. I have a Fediverse account. I might post pictures of the 3D model there before anywhere else. So there's that. Kofi, always tip me some money. Always appreciate that. I need money. Bleeding face emoji. Yeah, that covers it, right? Yeah, I'm happy. You know, there's been a few people I think have been waiting. So I'm glad to stream. I'm glad to have this, and hopefully, maybe I'll stream soon. Maybe, hopefully, pray the Bible man and God. And I'm gonna start this raid going for Everything Now show. The fucking best stream on this site. My stream sucks. They're fucking amazing. They won. I've rated them a number of times and talked about them a number of times. They won like the Hidden Gem Award for like the Streamers Award and shit, which was fucking cool. They deserve it more than anyone else. They have a shit ton of views now, right now. But I'm a real one. I'm an OG. I'm an OG now, and they're great. Go watch them. Doing Party Quest, my favorite format, improv comedy, interactive improv comedy. So, I'll see y'all.